This is the glorious Model D Pro Skyline. I bought it out of morbid curiosity, and I have to say that I regret doing so. The 150 Singapore dollars I spent on it could have been spent on buying myself something that's far more pleasurable, like getting castrated or getting my organs ripped out by a serial killer. Because the Model D Pro Skyline, which is the name of the colorway, the Skyline, isn't very nice. The build quality, for one, isn't very inspiring. Like when you press into the shell, it kind of flexes a little bit. And when I took it out of the box, I immediately heard it rattle, which for a limited edition fancy Pro Series mouse shouldn't ever happen. By the way, it's 150 Singapore dollars. I'm not stupid enough to pay 150 USD for a mouse like this. The clicks are Kao GM 8.0s, which can be good and can be bad, but on here, they just feel weird. Like they have a nice sharp click at the top, but they continue traveling down further afterwards. Not in a mushy way, but in the somehow not actuated kind of way. Like it's overly tactile, overly thocky, and then it feels kind of like your mouse click is stuck on the bottom when you bottom out. I hate it. It feels real funky. It's also not consistent throughout the clicks. It gets really stiff towards the back and it just sounds bad. As do the scroll wheel. It's mushy and doesn't have really nice steps and just feels unsatisfying. I don't know whether it's because it's in conjunction with these really bad clicks that I hate the scroll wheel so much, but it just isn't a very nice experience. No tactile steps, no crispness to it, and it's not like you can flick it really easily. It just doesn't feel very defined. The DPI button behind the scroll wheel is horrendous. It's a work of a plastic cup at a college frat party. It just is loose and rattly and sounds hollow and tinny, as are the thumb buttons, which are overly stiff yet have a nice crisp click. Like I don't know, they do have a nice click and they don't have pre-travel or post-travel, but they're really stiff. The mouse feet are also super duper tiny, and the whole kind of mouse is completely unchanged shape-wise to the glorious Model D. Battery life is alright, it lasts a good couple of days, though within those couple of days you would probably want to sell this mouse or get something else. Maybe I had a bad unit, but the Model D Pro just doesn't feel good at all in my hand. It feels poorly built and extremely unsatisfying. It feels worse built than the glorious Model D, and that had holes in the construction, which is such a disappointment. More than that is that it's a Pro Series mouse, but it has a 3370 sensor inside, which is the glorious BAMF sensor, which means it's the same as a glorious Model D, which means you should just buy the original Model D if you're thinking of this mouse. Not that you can even buy this mouse at all. This mouse was released alongside the glorious kind of forged thing with the Model O Pro and the glorious Series 1 Pro that was released to a bunch of hoo-ha and fanfare because they were not very transparent about the release schedule, and they kind of released it in a kind of fake hype generating final mouse-esque way that pissed off a lot of the fans of Glorious. So I actually bought this on resale, which was dumb. But thankfully no one's really scalping these because no one really wants these. And now I know why. So yeah, the glorious Model D Pro. One of the most straightforward gaming mice reviews I've ever done. Don't buy this, just don't. Go buy a glorious Model D if you want this. And if you're okay with risking it and hoping the firmware update actually works, glorious Model D 2. But if anyone wants to buy this gaming mouse, you know where to find me on Discord.